Look up tonight. If the clouds are clear, you'll see it. A silent, glowing sentinel that has watched over every single human who has ever lived. It's governed our tides, inspired our poets, and guided our ancestors through the darkness. The moon is so constant, so utterly reliable that we barely give it a second thought. It's just there. But what if it wasn't? What if, in the next moment, with no warning and no explanation, the moon simply vanished? Not exploded, not drifted away, but was plucked from existence by some impossible cosmic force. Your first thought might be, well, the nights would be darker. And you'd be right. But that profound darkness would be the gentle opening act to a planetary catastrophe that would unravel our world in ways you can barely imagine. The disappearance of the moon wouldn't just be an astronomical event. It would be the end of the world as we know it. The first and most immediate consequence would be felt not in the sky, but in the water. The moon is the primary driver of Earth's tides. Its gravitational pull lovingly tugs on our planet, creating a bulge in the oceans on both the near and far side. As Earth rotates, these bulges sweep across the globe as high tides. Now imagine that gravitational leash is instantly cut. The colossal bulge of water, billions upon billions of tons held in place by an invisible force, is suddenly released. The result wouldn't be a gentle settling. It would be a catastrophic slosh. A series of unimaginable tsunamis, hundreds of feet high, would erupt from the deep oceans, racing towards every coastline on Earth. These would not be like the seismic tsunamis we know. They would be a global phenomenon, a planetary recoil. Cities like New York, Tokyo, London, and Sydney would be erased from existence within hours. Coastal ecosystems, the nurseries of the sea, would be scoured clean, instantly obliterating countless species. This initial tidal apocalypse would be the planet's violent, watery scream in response to losing its lifelong partner. Once the initial deluge subsided, the oceans would settle into a new, much calmer rhythm. The sun also exerts a tidal force, but it's less than half as powerful as the moon's. Tides wouldn't vanish completely, but they'd become weak, predictable solar tides, a mere shadow of their former selves. For the survivors huddled inland, this would begin a new era of ecological collapse. Think of the intertidal zones, those vibrant strips of life that are exposed and submerged twice a day. Mussels, barnacles, crabs, starfish. An entire ecosystem built around the moon's rhythm would be annihilated. Animals that hunt by moonlight, from owls to lions, would find themselves plunged into an almost absolute darkness. Predators would struggle to find prey, and prey would struggle to navigate. The nocturnal world, a finely tuned dance of light and shadow, would be thrown into chaos. This would trigger a domino effect, rippling through food chains on land and in the newly placid seas. The very pulse of life on Earth, a beat set by the moon over eons, would have stopped. As the days and weeks turned into years, a new, more terrifying problem would begin to manifest, not in our oceans, but in our seasons. The moon is not just a tidal engine, it's our planet's gyroscope. Earth is tilted on its axis by about 23.5 degrees. This tilt, and our orbit around the sun, is what gives us our seasons. Summer in the northern hemisphere is when it's tilted towards the sun. Winter is when it's tilted away. This tilt is remarkably stable, and the reason for that stability is the moon's immense gravitational influence. It acts like a cosmic anchor, preventing our planet from wobbling wildly. Without the moon, that anchor is gone. Other planets, like Jupiter and Saturn, would begin to tug on Earth's rotational axis. Over thousands of years, a blink of an eye in geological time, our axial tilt would begin to drift, then swing chaotically. Imagine seasons becoming unpredictable, then extreme. The tilt might swing to 10 degrees, creating a world with very mild seasons but permanently frozen polar caps and a scorching, uninhabitable equator. Or it could swing to 45 degrees. In this scenario, summers would become hot enough to boil the surface of the oceans in some regions, while winters would be so cold that they would trigger a flash freeze, encasing entire continents in ice. The North Pole could end up pointing directly at the sun for months, turning the Arctic into a desert, while Antarctica experienced an unending, impossibly cold night. Life cannot adapt to this kind of planetary instability. It would be a slow, grinding apocalypse, where the very climate that nurtured civilization would become its executioner. We know this isn't just theory. Mars, lacking a large, stabilizing moon, is believed to have undergone these exact kinds of chaotic shifts in its tilt, contributing to the loss of its water and atmosphere. We would be on the same path to becoming a dead world. But perhaps the most profound loss would be the one we'd feel every single night. For all of human history, the moon has been our connection to the cosmos. It was our first calendar, the root of the word month. It was the canvas for our myths and legends, a deity for ancient cultures, a symbol of love, madness, and mystery for our artists and poets. It was the driving force behind Newton's theory of gravity and the ultimate destination that fueled the space race, pushing humanity to achieve the impossible. The moon is woven into the fabric of our consciousness. To look up into the night sky and see only an unblinking void where it should be would be a psychological blow unlike any other. The stars, once seen through the familiar glow of moonlight, would now blaze with a fierce, cold clarity in a sky that felt alien and empty. We would have lost our oldest companion, our silent witness. The human spirit, which has always looked to the moon for inspiration and wonder, would be staring into an abyss, forever reminded of the cosmic anchor we had lost. This thought experiment reveals a profound truth. The moon is not just a rock in the sky. It is an integral part of the Earth system. Its absence would not just make our nights darker. It would unleash the oceans, collapse ecosystems, send our climate into a death spiral, and erase a fundamental piece of the human soul. It is the celestial shepherd that made the long-term evolution of complex life on Earth possible. The gentle light we see gracing the clouds is the glow of our planetary life support system, a silent guardian that keeps our world stable, rhythmic, and alive. So the next time you look up at that familiar, cratered face, remember that you are not just seeing a satellite, but a partner in a 4 billion-year-old dance that allows you to be here, wondering about it all. And it forces us to ask an even bigger question. How many other worlds out there in the dark had a perfect moon, only to lose it?